fly maggots.
Oh,
Maggots.
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 Okay.
You
Yes,
got a
and
Michigan accent there.
yeah, and the maggots are, they basically you can buy. They're either like they're green. The ones I read about were like either green flies or blue bottle flies, which are
Hmm.
popular. Which are I don't know if you have blue bottle flies in Ireland, but we have them around here. I think that's your basically your house fly. So, uh, but that's one good thing. Why flies they really do a very excellent job of very um, sanitary way of cleaning up a bad a festering and infected kind of wound. So
Yeah,
Curious
that's
to
actually
know
how we used to treat.
what the research reports on that.
uh,
Mm.
Mm.
yeah, well I can I can look that up. I'll send you a message about it here. I had
Yeah,
it.
I
Exactly.
You
I
can look it up on
listened to
Wikipedia.
that symphony
Yeah.
incidentally.
Oh, did you? What did you think?
Yeah, it wasn't dramatic enough. I was let down.
Yeah, yeah. I listened. Yeah, it was not what you'd expect, I guess, from something.
Yeah.
You have high stimulation needs, Dee Dee.
Well, I mean, if you have a mellow, um, what do you calls it, of the symphony, and you're writing about the inferno, you're making music about the inferno, you expect some drama, and it was very mellow.
Okay, all right.
I expected anyway. Maybe it was less mellow than I.
No, a short piece. It was a very nice piece, but yeah, it
Okay,
was.
well,
It's
let me mention to the people out in video land that we are continuing with our study of the Dante's Purgatorio, and that we are on Canto 11, and we read through it in Italian and maybe in English last
We
time.
did,
So
right?
yeah.
We started,
And
yeah.
so today we're going to start reading smaller sections of it, starting at the beginning, and seeing if we can figure out what Dante was
Brilliant.
talking about.
And I have a
yeah.
good note here from that
Oh,
hymn.
good.
He begins the whole canto with a hymn,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the prayer of the proud. Um, the sinners in each cornice of purgatory recite a prayer appropriate to their particular penance. So I don't have to read the whole thing,
Okay.
but unless you want more of it, it's a long note.
Well, you can be the judge since you were the one who has it. You can
Okay.
decide whether we need to hear the whole thing or not.
The prayer spoken by the souls under the stones is, of course, an extended form of the Lord's Prayer,
Mhm.
and Dante's choice of it must be understood by its relevance to the sin of pride. So I'm not going to read the whole
Mm.
commentary about the prayer.
Okay, Dave Little, we're beginning the shorter readings and discussion of Canto 11,
Yeah, good. That's where I am. Thank you so much.
Pride.
Well, I'll begin to read then, and I'll read the Lord's
Okay.
the Lord's extended Lord's Prayer.
Okay.
Okay, the humble prayer, Purgatorio Canto 9, the humble prayer, Umberto de Santafiore, Odorisi dig Agnobio, Provenzan Salvani. Our Father, who dwellest in the heavens, not circumscribed, but from the greater love thou bearest to the first effects on high. Praised be thy name and thine omnipotence by every creature, as befitting is to render thanks to thy sweet effluence. Come unto us the peace of thy dominion, for unto it we cannot of ourselves, if it come not with all our intellect. Even as thine own angels of their will make sacrifice to thee, Hosanna singing, so may all men sacrifice of theirs. Give unto us this day our daily manna, withouten which in this rough wilderness backward goes he who toils most to advance. And even as the trespass we have suffered, pardon in one another, pardon thou benignly, and regard not our desert. Our virtue, which is easily overcome, put not to proof with the old adversary, but thou from him who spurs it so, deliver. This last petition, verily, dear Lord, not for ourselves is made, who need it not, but for their sake, who have remained behind us.
Read the last two lines of that, John.
Not for ourselves is made who need it not, but for their sake who have remained behind us.
Oh, I see. Not for ourselves because they're in purgatory, but for the
Yeah,
souls of those we left behind.
yeah, yeah. That's interesting. They're praying for those who are still alive, I guess. So
Yeah, that's what that line is.
that's
The
a vast.
souls of those we left behind.
Yep.
Which is interesting, isn't it, John? Because previously what we've seen is the people there asking Dante, hey, could you let them know we're here and get them to pray for us?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
And this is a curious one, and from my point of view, because they're a little proud.
Who's proud?
The people who are in the first level of purgatory, which has to do with the sin of pride.
Well, are they proud or are they stuck?
No, they're proud of this last petition, verily, to line 22, this last petition, verily, dear Lord, not for ourselves is made, who need it not,
Yeah.
but for their sake who have remained behind us.
Well, they don't need it because they're through with life. They can't be tempted anymore.
Right.
Yeah, and
But
if you read a few verses up, say, starting with 25, I think it's they aren't proud.
The three people there represent the three different types of pride. So Bertie, I'm not going to try his surname. It's pride of family and lineage. Oderisi, it's pride of art and human endeavors. And the third guy, PROV, it's pride of power.
Right, and they have learned which they understand, I guess, or
Mm.
they are learning which pride is theirs. I don't feel they feel superior. I think they feel humble.
Well,
Mm.
what strikes me in a way is that this, if you contrast this with the Our Father from this, at least in English, and translated from the Bible,
Mhm.
I think it's in each of the synoptic gospels, and there's maybe a combination of one where Christ admonishes people, do not pray like the Pharisees who stand and look and with many words. He said, this just simply pray. And it seems to me what they've done is embellished this basically simple prayer of Jesus taught to the disciples with a lot of flowing words that are almost like suggest just the opposite of what the idea of the Lord's Prayer was supposed to be. So there's, I think, so there is, to me, there's a bit of an ironic thing about how this kind of flowing, very flowery worded Lord's Prayer.
That's what happens when you give a prayer to a poet.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Our Father who art in heaven. Okay, so our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Something like that. That's the Lord's Prayer.
Lead us
Yeah.
not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like this, they added on, for thine is the glory, the kingdom, the power, and that's the end of it. And here, goes on for several more, well, many more words.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
I don't know if he's making a point or not, but
let's see. What does Hollander have to say?
So it's definitely a question worth discussing, but we're coming up with more about what Dante was doing, I think.
Well, he may be making a subtle point to say, that, and in a way, even with that last three lines saying, not for ourselves is made who need it, not, but for their sake. I think, and it's like, and what Dave was saying that, the others who so far, they've been asking for prayers from people still on earth so that they can help go through faster and so they can go through purgatory faster. And these are the proud who think, well, we don't need this, so we're going to pray for those behind us. And I think then the characters of these souls that we're going to meet in this canto are sort of like bearers of this kind of their own particular unique pride.
Well, we will have to find out because at least in our previous readings of the various canto and purgatory, we haven't gone into it as deeply as we are this time.
Right.
This is the first of our readings of Dante, of Purgatorio, where we've been going fairly deep, or deeper anyway. So we'll have to find out if this is a pattern of any sort, or if this is unique to the pride level.
And the souls, they enter pre-purgatory and they're celebrating, even though they know they will be suffering, because they know that the suffering will get them through to heaven. So maybe celebratory, we hope that those still alive can achieve this reckoning while they're still alive.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense, just to follow up on your point, Dee Dee? I just read 10 this morning, before a few hours before I joined you. Is there a sense in 10 not only that because Virgil says, look at their faces, and they know that this is temporary. They know that they're kind of earning their passage to a better place. Is there a sense also, and it's a genuine question, that they also accept the penitence, the penance, because it's warranted, because it's deserved? Whereas
that's what I believe, that's how it struck me.
Right. Whereas Duncan has long argued that part of the problem that puts people in the inferno is they never accept the gravity of what they've done.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. They're still justifying it.
Right.
So that's about pride.
Well, pride is the sin that underlies all others. In the sense that we have the example of Lucifer.
Yeah.
And that is his sin. And that no matter what your surface sin is, you have to be proud not to repent. Seems to me.
Right.
I was reading the Robert Hollander here analysis, and he says Dante's version of the Lord's Prayer is an amalgam of two passages, adapted so as to be particularly fit for the souls of those who are in essence saved, but needful of purgation. Here that Dante is siding with those who have been involved in the vernacularization of the Bible, an activity fraught with danger in the late Middle Ages and early Renaissance. It is perhaps not coincidental that the prayer is composed of 7 sentences of Matthew, 6 in Luke, to match the 7 tercets devoted to its longer paraphrase in Dante. That's I didn't get that out of what we read. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't, the Latin is not part of the translation that I have. Is it, and
What this is saying that that the translations of the Bible um, was quite a problem in those days. Latin, Church Latin, was the language of the intellects, and but they wanted to teach it to people who weren't intellects, so they had to bring it into a sort of a Vulgate or something, and that was quite a problem.
Well, I think that was, in fact, I think the whole idea, Des, is that the church did not want people to understand the Latin, and except unless you were even if you were educated, I think. And if I think at least the English history, or the English of the English speaking peoples, was people like Wycliffe and people of like the era of Henry VIII and so forth in that period got into a lot of trouble. In fact, I think they were executed for
Yes.
promoting English translations of the Bible, and
Right.
they were that was a forbidden.
It didn't go quite that far in Second Vatican Council, but it did create a hell of a stink,
Yeah.
trying to allow people to understand what the hell was going on.
Mhm.
Oh, I know. Reading the Bible is very depressing.
It is very,
Reading the
yeah.
Bible is very depressing, or reading the history of the Bible.
Both.
No, there are stories in the Bible that really are bad blood.
Oh yeah, and I mean God
Sure.
is so silly in the Talmud in the five books of Moses.
Mhm.
Silly God.
Yes. Well, there is an argument that is made that actually the Old Testament is, if you take the Old Testament as a whole, that is the story of God growing up.
Yeah, right. And
That's
that's when
a
Christ,
contradiction in terms.
right? That's I'm like Bob Dylan.
But even the Latin Bible, is, uh, the New Testament is a translation of the Greek.
Right.
The Hebrew scriptures are basically a translation, I believe, of the Greek of the Septuagint. So the Hebrew scriptures are at two removes, right? They've been translated into Greek and then from Greek into Latin.
Yeah,
So then when we're translating the Latin scripture into vernacular, you're now at two or three removes from the original.
yeah. But once traditions began to be transcribed, Greece was the culture, the principal culture of the time. So it was automatic that it would be translated first into Greek. But I mean, anything that is translated loses integrity.
Yes.
And if the stories were in Aramaic or something like that, being translated into Hebrew and then into Greek and then into Latin and then into English, you know, the original is lost somewhere back. The idea might
Yes,
be there.
you are blaspheming, sir. You are blaspheming. We all know that God Himself moved the hands and the minds of the translators.
Yeah, right.
That is how the Bible has retained its integrity. But for some unknown reason, by the time it got to the vernacular language of the day, he didn't want that. So any attempt to translate the Bible at that point was a perversion, punishable by death.
Yes.
So, of course, in some sense, the church fathers must have had some idea like that. That if they even bothered, I'm sure that there were yahoos within the deep church that figured that God really wrote the book in church Latin to begin with. Um, but that God forbid the translation of the Bible from the church Latin into vernacular languages. But Hollander's note brings up a really interesting thing, which I wish I could find a text on it, which is who was creating vernacular Bibles in Italy?
Right.
And how were they viewed?
The intellectual powers would have been in the church.
Okay. And maybe John, it's the elder can answer this. John, do you know if there was a particular church Latin that was different than the other Latin?
Well, well, of course, pronunciation, of course, changes, but um, Church Latin was still a living language, so it was going to undergo some changes. There's uh, some changes in spelling, changes in pronunciation, and also some vocabulary develops specialized meaning.
Mm-hmm.
That's also true of New Testament Greek.
Hmm.
So, like ecclesia, right, the word for church that we get uh, ecclesiastics from and so forth. That's just the word for the assembly of citizens who vote on things, right? In Athens, the voting assembly was the ecclesia.
Oh,
But so you would get words whose meanings become more specialized.
okay.
And
But what an educated, okay, this is what an educated scholar, a non-church scholar, if there was such a thing, have easily understood church Latin.
Mm.
That may just be a
I
rhetorical.
think that a non-church expert would probably have been speaking Vulgate rather than what we call church Latin.
Could you,
Not classical Latin.
okay, what is Vulgate then? Vulgate is
The speech of the common people originally,
oh, okay.
as I understand it.
Well, the Vulgate is the name of the Latin trans. Also, I'm not disputing what you say. It's also the name of the Latin translation from the Greek and I think to an extent Hebrew by Saint Jerome.
Yes, it would probably, yes, it would have been made legible or intelligible by anybody who spoke Latin, rather
Okay.
than simply the church fathers or whatever.
Okay.
I mean, there's a parallel there in the
No.
Vedas written in Sanskrit. Any translation of Sanskrit uh, all but destroyed the concept. And I'm sure the church were very well aware of that, the church fathers.
Wow.
Hmm.
Is that like historically established?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
I mean, the Sanskrit today, it's it is taught as of the original or as near to the original as they can get. Sanskrit, that is very much um, said to be used anywhere in the world, would not be the same language.
Hmm.
It's a perceptual language. It's not a linear language like English or Latin or those. It's perceptual. It's quite a different approach to language and understanding.
Well,
So it's
yeah,
just for that reason, it is almost impossible to translate. It's not the only perceptual language that are survived. As far as I know, there are others, but
Yeah, one of my husband's books is called Fabricating History, and it's about how the writing of history and the writing of fiction have a lot in common.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah.
well, but for what
Yes,
it's worth,
yes, Bill. Oh, sorry, John. Go ahead.
oh, well, I was just going to say that I just, taking a look at our friend Wikipedia here and about translations of the Bible into Italian. And apparently the earliest that they are talking about there, it says if you can go by Wikipedia, is like 1471. So what we have in Dante here is apparently maybe a very early. Dante is a precursor of an attempt to translate the Bible, a couple of snippets from the Bible into Latin, just in this poem. So
I mean that one of Dante's life's work was effectively to create Italian,
yes, yeah.
Right.
Latin, and the local dialects.
So yeah, I
He
mean
was a master at it.
exactly, yeah. So he may have set the stage for somebody to come, some person later in the next century or whatever. I think they say in the Wikipedia thing it's 1471 or something, and that's that's about 100 over 100 years later. So
Right, right. According to Britannica.com, the first printed Italian Bible appeared in Venice in 1471, translated from the Latin Vulgate by Niccolò Malermi. In 1559, Pope Paul IV proscribed all printing and reading of the vernacular scriptures except by permission of the church.
You know, the Jewish, I think it's called the Mishnah, is a um, chronological. It goes back, I don't know, to Adam and Eve, the time when they were priests. The head priest's commentary on what the Bible meant, what the Bible was really teaching. And it goes, I think they're probably still interpreting it, the chief rabbis. And actually, I was told by a scholar that Christ was a commentator in the Mishnah, but that the Jews took him out when the Jews became persona non grata.
hmm,
So
wow.
the interpretation of the Bible, the whatever, wherever it originated, has gone on as long as it exists.
Hmm. Actually quite a topic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's amazing how much you realize you don't know when you get into these conversations.
That's actually, I think, the chief virtue of the conversations.
Yes. Mm.
It is our own uh, purgatorio,
Mhm.
son of pride.
So Des, I think that what you were suggesting earlier, if you want to do the full loop, is that you said, Dante was to an extent creating language. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
So that he's creating the very vernacular into which he is then translating the Lord's Prayer, which are taken from the Bible.
Yeah, yeah. He was doing it for the public and teaching them um what would you say,
He's
the
he's
way
opened,
to
yeah. He's
is the
opened the door.
spiritual.
So I have all kinds of questions bubbling up in my mind,
Yeah.
um, which I
Well,
will
this,
try to
No better
continue.
place, no better place than to pose them than here, sir.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
Now,
this
so was there a written vernacular?
Before Dante,
Yeah, I mean,
there were
Is
separate
Dante, in addition to there being a spoken vernacular, was there a written vernacular which people used, a written language
that they shared
that they shared?
and
So
And
in Italian.
well, it can't be in Italian because there was no Italian.
Oh,
There was
then it would have been Latin, no?
no. My impression is that the various areas of Italy, which was not a nation
correct.
at the
Right,
time, had created vernacular languages,
right.
and that somehow Dante became knowledgeable of a variety of of the vernacular languages, and decided to create a language based on them.
And there were bards, and Dante was a bard, wrote the poetry for the bards, and he would have heard the poetry of the bards from the different regions of Italy, of what is now Italy.
And you're saying that, is that a creative statement that you're making there, Dee Dee, or is this
Well,
something
that
you actually read?
his impression of how to write the words that um, the people from all the different regions could understand.
well, I guess I have a question here, Duncan. When
Yep.
you say the spoken, I mean that's what just Didi was just saying. I mean Dante was proficient in at least a vernacular. There was a vernacular Italian people spoke and apparently wrote in different. I suppose we might call them dialects of vernacular dialects of different parts of Italy.
Yeah.
And apparently, we've got all kinds of examples of modern. I mean, I don't personally, but I mean, there are all kinds of examples of Dante's writing in that vernacular, I suppose. And so,
Actually,
in
that's
a sense, what he maybe is doing here, maybe this poem, the Divine Comedy, may be a step in his development of of that vernacular to a more greater closer perfection of that, which is taken to be a more of a so it's going to be understood by different vernaculars. He may have been knowledgeable about other, non-Florentine or like Venetian or other what kind of Southern Lombard or other kinds of areas of Italy, what they spoke and or what they wrote. And he may have been able to kind of synthesize that perhaps, and maybe we're seeing the result of that in his Italian here.
Yeah. I think that's a good point.
Just as a follow up to this, I did put something in the chat. I got it from AI, so you can take it for what it's worth.
Yeah.
And there's something from good old Wikipedia I'll put in as well, talking about. I think that what Des and John are saying is it must have been as German was to Luther. that the language was there, people were writing in it. But what happened was that these two people used their respective languages so usefully and brilliantly that it became more the standardized form.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
think Florence was like a center where the scholarly work, aside from the church, might have happened.
Mm.
Yes, but when Dante was exiled, he spent years, it was a 14 years or something, 17 years traveling.
I can't remember.
And
Mm.
he would have met all these different dialects.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
You would
That
have,
was
yeah.
a situation that the other writers in Florence would not have had.
It's true.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I
But I
think
mean, sorry,
Dave,
go ahead.
your thing you put in chat demands the question, in my opinion, of what is vulgar Latin?
Well, I think that Des used the term to talk about what was spoken by the hoi polloi, us, everyday people. Would that be right?
Yes, it's vulgar Latin as distinct from classical Latin,
You know, or
the
or you
Latin
know,
of
scholarly Latin.
yeah, of Ovid and Livy and those.
You know,
That was classical Latin, and it was quite a different language.
you know, it's true of every language. I mean, we've talked a bit about this. When I was teaching my grade 8 students, I told them, so I wanted them to write for me formally, and I said you can't use the language you use in the hall, and I said you'll notice that the language that you guys use in the hall when you think we're not listening is very different. The vocabulary that you're using is quite different, but when you hand me an assignment, you can't use that language. And so there are different levels of languages as well. And I think, Des, that's it. I think that's the difference between formal classical Latin and the vulgar Latin that people are talking about when they're buying anchovies in the marketplace, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm.
Original Latin came from the Latin tribe, Latinium. It
Right.
was a tribal area, and that was the origin of the Latin language.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of many Italic languages. And of course, with Rome eventually achieving dominance over Italy, it uh, kind of supplanted those other languages. But you had Oscan, Umbrian. There were
Oh.
we don't have a lot of we mainly have some inscriptions of those languages.
Mhm.
The Tuscan language originated with the Etruscan system way back centuries before. It's
Yeah,
like the
Etruscan
English, yeah, the
is
English
not
of Chaucer and
Indo-European.
the English of Shakespeare and the English today are just three separate languages. They might be English, but it's very difficult to understand what people would be saying in each of the individual languages. It would be the same with Latin, with the Vulgate Latin as
You don't
distinct from
have,
classical.
it was not, unlike modern literature, it was not a virtue to write like people spoke, right? We don't get, um, we don't have like what purports to be a dialogue between two soldiers up at Hadrian's Wall. So the Latin literature that we have is all of a piece. It's highly educated Latin. You do get inscriptions and graffiti in places like Pompeii, but those are usually short little snippets, and some of those are at best semi-literate. They're usually intelligible, but certainly not something that Cicero would have ever uttered, or at least not uttered in a
Yeah,
formal.
yeah. When Julius Caesar was writing his De Bello Gallico, his language was considered bog language,
What
bog
kind?
Latin, bog Latin,
Bog, B-O-G,
yeah, B-O-G. Um,
gutter, gutter
gutter,
language.
yes, yeah, very, very simple. There was nothing refined about it.
Mhm.
It was written to be understood by people in the army,
Mm-hmm.
for the army. He recorded his experiences as a template on how to do things. And he to he went to from Gaul to England twice, BC, and it wasn't until gosh, I think it was about 200 AD before the Romans or the Roman armies, such as they were at that stage, arrived in Britain. But their language was very different from what Caesar would have been speaking of. You know, at that time, not having books or anything like that, everything was verbal,
Mm-hmm.
and it was only through memory that it could be passed on. And memories are, if they're anything like mine, they're pretty unstable.
Well, this is a vast and deep and important subject, which we can only go so far on. Um, but it seems to me we have at least established, as I say, it's ironic since this canto has to do with the proud. Um, our conversation, I think, has at least established in me a kind of humble approach to language. And what in the world is it?
I must say that last week I couldn't join you, but I did on Friday. But I stayed in the background and just listened.
Mm-hmm.
And today I listened to your your recording from last week,
Oh, okay.
and I was listening to Decio reading the Latin version of I think it was chapter or Canto 10, and I hadn't a clue what it was all about. No idea. It was just sound, just waves of sound. But the words broke up the what would be the word? The tempo, the I can't get the word I want, but
Meter.
the it became sound broken up as it should be according to the Latin or the Italian language. The variations in the sound, it was something really beautiful. I hadn't a clue what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it was lovely to listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really was.
Yeah, there's a lot,
It,
actually, there's a whole
yeah, there's a
scholarly
whole yeah,
field in
yeah,
how
yeah,
how the Commedia has written sound-wise.
yeah, yeah. It was like Joyce's Finnegan's Wake. It's pretty much the same idea. It's
Mm-hmm.
just sound,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever meaning seeps through, that's extra.
Mm.
Cooking too much. Better shut up.
No,
No, it's been
happy
good.
with
It's
what
been
you're
good.
saying.
Thinking about it,
Saying.
a word that someone says triggers this whole what do you call it, storm of associations in your brain, you know. So that makes it's not just the sound as the what the word does to you, like hitting a note in the piano, and your brain goes to
Mhm,
all of the
mhm, mhm.
associations it can make.
I've just, since I'm not an Italian, I don't know any Italian really, but I can see in my Longfellow at the Italian here, there's clearly more poetry in this than I'm not getting. I don't get much of this other than sound uh, but for example, if you just looking at the words like sty and the alternating in the Lord's Prayer here now, sty, high, those are rhyming words. And then you have amore, valore, vaporore, vapore. All these are rhyming words. And so he's got some kind of scheme that sounds like, I mean, I don't know how you would put that all together to make that all come out, to make this the rhyme, rhythm, meter, whatever you want to call that, the music of it come out somehow.
I'll
That
try.
was the
Well,
absolute.
first of all, what you can do, there's a number of very good Italian readers that read the Commedia.
Okay.
It is well worth listening to two or three of them anyway. And then in Barolini actually does quite a bit on trying to show people what is going on in the Italian and what is it's almost like a haiku type thing, the way things are put
Oh, okay.
together. And it's a pretty tight structure of how they do the rhyming and how they do the accentuation.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll try to find something that Barolini
Okay.
wrote.
Yeah, and I don't mean to at all imply that any criticism or anything of any of the our Italian readers here, anybody here, but I just to me there's something that's there and that seems to be there in the printed words, not coming out in terms of there's a musicality, I guess, I associate with
Yes, there is
poetry,
a definite
and
musicality.
it's not it doesn't come through to me when listening to our readings here.
Yep, 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 yep. I will gladly admit my amateurish attempt at Italian,
Well,
but at the same time, I'll say it has improved.
practice makes perfect.
Well,
Yes,
it's
I
not
was
only
listening.
practice makes perfect, it's actually listening to Decio or listening to things where I suddenly realize that, oh, this this place where the accentuation goes, et cetera, et cetera.
When
Okay.
I was listening to your last week's recording. I was listening to you, Duncan, speaking or reading the Italian, and I thought that you knew Italian.
I'm improving.
Oh, I got the distinct opinion you could have rattled off Italian, no problem.
It's all very conscious in my reading, and the same thing has happened. And it's an interesting phenomenon. I read Ulysses, Joyce's Ulysses, in Brazilian Portuguese,
Wow.
and I've been doing it for 3 years. I don't speak Brazilian Portuguese at all,
Yeah.
but I have made actually quite good progress in reading Brazilian Portuguese, even though I don't know what I'm talking about. So it's my monkey nature. All right. Shall we admit that there's only so far we can go with this Dante's prayer and
Please.
move on to the next section? It's been a good discussion, though, I think. And as a Zen practitioner, I always appreciate any discussion which raises questions about language and how we seemingly use it easily in day to day, but there's a lot more going on than we have any idea about. All right, our next reader is
Edie.
Me, I.
Edie.
Okay.
Okay.
We might have to stop after the first verse.
It's your decision, Edie.
Well, or anybody, not just mine.
Well, it's
Unless
your
I,
decision about where to stop. And then when you stop, people will make their decision about what they want to talk about.
okay, sounds practical. So praying Godspeed for themselves and us, those souls were crawling by under such burdens as we at times may dream of, laden thus, unequally tormented, weary, bent, they circled the first cornice round and round, purging away the world's foul sediment. If they forever speak our good above, what can be done for their good here below by those whose will is rooted in God's love? This is Dante's question. Surely we should help those souls grow clear of time's deep stain, that each at last may issue spotless and weightless to his starry sphere. So this seems to be what Dante is, what we were talking about, that the souls not coming with their prayer for the souls still alive. It's not coming from proud, but it's coming from like reason. If they can help us, surely we should help them. It's line 34.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. Next is John.
Um,
Anything else on these lines?
yes,
Yeah, next is
yes, very much so, very much so. I mean, this speaks, we're not a praying society today, but this speaks to great faith in the profound efficacy of prayer, these lines. And purging, truly we ought to help them cleanse the smears. I'm not sure what you folks have as a translation for line 34, and here we come back again to the business
Well,
of
may
reading the
we
word in
help
translation.
them wash away the marks.
The marks, okay, which is sort of less forceful than smears.
It's
Well,
less
And it's
targeted.
just
Smoke.
souls. In Quixote, he doesn't characterize them. Grow clear of time's deep stain.
So, okay, so we got three things: smears, marks, and stains.
Smoke stains they have.
Yeah, I've got tarnish. I've got sorry, but that's
Mhm.
another line. Sorry, I'm confusing thing. Smears, marks, stains. Yes.
Oh, marks. Oh, I see. That's a different. Oh, the marks, and that's, yeah, I see marks there too. I was
And
looking.
mark is almost a neutral term.
It is.
Well, the Italian is notte, uh, which is kind of a neutral term, I think, right?
Okay.
Notes, marks.
What do people have for line 30? I've got purging away the tarnish of the world, and I think Dee Dee, your translation was close to that.
World's foul sediment.
Right. Okay. But you had the word purging, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, purging
And I have
away.
purging
That's the
also.
line that Longfellow has, smoke stains of the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
smoke stains of the world.
And then it says, and he's referring there to something upon that foremost cornice. So I'm not sure. Is he talking here? Is he mingling? Is he talking about some sort of a, well, like sort of like one of the blocks or part of the topography of purgatory there? Or is he talking about
Yes, yes, yes,
stained
yes. This
souls?
is the cornice. Purgatory is described as having cornices, what we would think of as the paths.
Okay, yeah.
If we imagine a spiral ascendancy,
Okay,
and the foremost cornice was the first one.
okay,
When they made it to purgatory proper, that's the first cornice. Cornice being a relatively narrow ledge,
okay.
and foremost just
If
means the first one. I
I,
think.
Yeah,
I have a translation.
it's
Sorry,
mountain
translation.
shaped, and the path goes around the mountain, not straight up.
Are we on the outside of the mountain, or are we on the in?
Where the I don't know if you can see this, it's very pale, but
Oh, yeah. See
there's
a little.
there's a mountain that starts at the entrance of um the Inferno and gets wider as they go down, and then the mountain that starts at the entry to Purgatory and goes up to a point where you get to heaven. Can you see it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I can
Yeah.
good.
I can see it. So we're on the outside of the mountain,
Right, going around.
and when we were in the Inferno, we were on the inside of a
Yeah.
tomb, right?
Yeah.
hmm Well, I don't know. I just jumped to the idea that it's the outside.
Mhm.
I mean, they could see when they entered Purgatory, they could see the sky, right? They could
Yeah.
see, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I think they come out of this like cave-like into the light on the outside.
Mm.
I wonder,
Yeah.
is Dante metaphorically referring to the, what does he have here? The smoke stains of the world. I have here the murky fogs of earth. And later on, he talks about, well, may we help them wash away the marks. Is he talking about sin?
Yes,
So,
I think so.
Mm.
yes, yes.
Because
And
they
I,
have the three
yeah.
P's on their sorry, seven P's on their forehead, right? Pecado.
Mhm.
Mm.
Right, peccato. Or yes, peccato.
Mhm.
and the first one hasn't been erased yet, right?
No,
Not yet.
Not yet, no. He has to
no,
get to the end of
12.
the cornice of pride before he
Mm.
gets the first P washed away.
Well, now I wonder, to go back, taking this other point here, I guess, is that these are all souls who are burdened under slabs of stone or something like that.
Mhm.
Are we not, are these not, is this cornice perhaps not referring to these stones which kind of obscure the actual, that Dante can't actually see these people who are bearing bearing these stones? And maybe the stones are the ones that are stained and the marks are on the stones in which they have to carry so that clean and light they may. So they're carrying these stones with stained by sin, burdens of from their lives that are weighing them down. So in the way the maybe the poetry here he's saying is that may we help them wash away the marks that they hence carried, so that clean and light they may ascend into the starry wheels. It's almost like this is the we have to help these people get to their destination, to their goal of erasing the burdens that they carry here.
I think
So
yeah,
is
I
that
think
get-
these stones are again metaphorical. The weight
Mhm.
of the stone being the weight of their sin
right? Oh yeah, yeah. But
burdens down
Sin
by
of
it, and
pride wearing them down.
but if we
yeah,
go back to Canto
Mm.
10, uh, it he actually describes them. It's more than it's metaphorical for sure. But he talks about them, as to sustain a ceiling or a roof in place of corbel. Oftentimes, a figure is seen to join its knees unto its breast, and so forth. He talks about these stones as being like almost like real stones, where he's not able to. He and Virgil are unable to see like the faces or the any kind of description, any individual
Right,
characteristic.
and in 10 it's look hard and you will see, it's line 115, the people pressed under the moving boulders there.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I was referring to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a metaphorical representation of what the sin of pride does to one's soul,
Right.
Mhm.
but that it's only temporary. That's why I actually like on line 34, I like the word marks
Yeah.
rather than smear and some of the other terms,
Yeah.
because marks is so neutral. It's kind of like, the mother saying, come here, Junior, you've got mud on your face, let's wash the mud away.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Um,
this is time's deep stain. Let's see, what line is that? That's 85, 35
35, okay.
or thereabouts.
That's time's deep stain.
Yeah, she already had.
Oh, okay, time's deep stain. Well, that
Oh
makes sense
yeah.
in the sense, the Buddhist idea is that every time you commit a particular sin, it is engraved a little deeper. So it takes a little longer to get rid of it.
It's the Christian concept, is it, of hardening in sin?
yes,
I would say more deepening.
yeah.
Okay, so like we see in Macbeth.
Well,
I think it's possibly the modern psychology approach of forming habit.
yeah, that's the Buddhist idea.
Yeah,
It's just habits,
Habit, yeah.
just bad
yeah,
habits.
there's a conflict in my close world, and I came up with the phrase hardening of the attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more you do something, the more it becomes a habit, the more it becomes ingrained.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. This is why they
And
have.
then I adjusted myself. I thought, well, I can use words. So I was hoping for softening of the attitude.
It's part of the reason the church has the rosary and the repetition in the rosary.
Yes,
Right.
yes, exactly. And the Tibetan
Wear it
thing,
away.
they
Yeah.
had the prayer wheel.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have one of those.
Okay, that you
yeah.
kind of swing around, and then you also have those flags, the Tibetan flags that blow in the breeze.
Yeah.
And these are all ways of automating the repentance system.
I put a few 4 lines from the great Scottish bard in the chat, which I think speaks to what we've been talking about here.
I wave the quantum of the
Margaret
sin that
and
has
so
a
forth.
goal concealing, but oh, it hardens out
Who is he,
within.
Robbie Burns?
Correct. Yeah. It's those last 2 lines, but oof, it hardens all within and petrifies the feeling. And I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes, the more that you've committed a sin.
The hazard of concealing. Well,
Mhm.
Yeah, the more you do it, you get hardened to it.
Mhm.
that's that's quite a verse.
Hmm.
What is that in, Dave?
It's an epistle to a friend. Just a sec. I will. Yes, epistle to a young friend.
Mm,
Hmm.
it's beautiful. I need to write it down.
Are we ready to read just a little bit more?
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
And who is the next reader?
I think I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah, so may pity and justice you disburden, soon that ye may have power to move the wing that shall uplift you after your desire. Show us on which hand toward the stairs the way is shortest, and if more than one the passes, point us out that which least abruptly falls. For he who cometh with me through the burden of Adam's flesh wherewith he is invested, against his will is chary of his climbing.
All right. I
Oh,
suggest stopping right there.
yeah. There's a lot packed in those there.
So this is Virgil
Yeah,
speaking.
so this is Virgil asking directions again.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Of the angel, move your wings.
Yeah, who
Um,
is he? Yeah, who is Virgil? I wonder who is he addressing? Is he? Are we kind of? We have to go back to 10. Is he talking to this angel or something again, or to this other person who's the?
I think he's talking to one of the proud. I think he's talking to one of the proud.
Just as you
What words
disburden.
are not used?
Because they are burdened by the stones, right?
Mhm.
They've got stones on their back. Mm.
Yeah, we've seen this form of question many times. You start with a wish for that something positive happen to the people you're asking the question of, and then you ask the question.
Uh-huh.
So I think he's saying, may your time in purgatory be brief
Mm-hmm.
so that you can move on. And then he makes the request, show us.
That's Virgil talking, right?
To the souls.
To the
So in
souls.
line 34 through 36, Virgil talking to Dante.
To the souls.
To the souls, I would have thought.
I
34 through
think so.
36, you think he's
Mhm.
talking to the souls?
May
Oh no, no.
justice and pity soon remove
Yeah,
the
Oh
well,
load
no,
you
yeah, no, that's
bear.
the next one.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
37, it's clear to me he's talking
Yeah.
to
To the
the
stones.
souls suffering, purgating from the sin of
Mm.
pride. But 34 through 36, my question is, I don't think he's talking to the
No,
souls.
No.
he's not talking there. He's the author um talking about what to us about what he's about.
Mm.
I have here that line 37.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
got it.
If we pray for them.
He's asking us to pray for them.
And if
34 to 36,
if they
yeah.
can pray for the souls in purgatory,
Yeah.
the souls in purgatory can also pray for them. That was his thought.
I have here that line 37 through to line 45 is in inverted commas.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a
It is.
quotation of Virgil talking to the souls that are weighted down with the stone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems very clear.
Well, I wonder, I mean, what I just heard somebody suggest or imply, anyways, or it sounded to me to say he's kind of that Dante is, you might say, breaking the fourth wall and speaking to the reader.
Yes.
Well,
And
that was up to
34 to
36.
30. Yeah, 34 to
Yeah.
36.
But
34
when
through 36 is talking to
he
us.
could be talking to both.
yeah,
But
well,
as
yeah.
I read it here, because he's gonna please show us the passage, the one least difficult. He's talking to the souls that are now straining their way and asking them for help to
Yes.
find an easiest way to continue up this cornice. That's line 30, line 40.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're going through the city and you see somebody and you go, "Hey, do you live in this area?"
Mhm.
Yes, I do. Oh, can you
Yeah.
tell us how to get to blah blah blah?
Yeah, I'm really confused by the first three. So may pity and justice you disburden soon, that ye may have power to move the wing that shall uplift you after your desire. Well, the whole, it's all one sentence, really, but I mean,
Well, if you do a good deed and take pity for us, then you'll get
yeah,
I don't think
Justice,
he's
you
putting it quite that
disparity.
directly as a transaction, though.
no.
I
Well, I
think
think, yeah, but
I think he's saying, okay, well, may pity and justice you disburden, so you soon have the power to move your wings and uplift you after you desire. And by the way, would you show us on which hand towards the stairs is the shortest?
okay. I'm really thrown off by the use of the word disburden. I'm familiar with unburden, but disburden, I don't think I've ever heard that word before.
Looking at it here, this burden to relieve somebody or something of a burden or responsibility.
Yeah, yeah.
But see,
and I think it could be read either way.
I'm not sure what the other way would be.
yeah.
Well, it would be
I mean,
one.
He's why would justice and pity be a burden? That's why I'm confused. It's almost, that seems conflicting somehow. The concept is, so may you be unburdened, or may you disburden yourself of pity and justice.
May
No,
our
pity and
pity
justice
and may
are going to
justice
remove the burden
disburden.
from them.
Yeah, yeah.
And those
It's a
are
kind of prayer.
the right words, right? The prayers might induce pity that will shorten their sentences, and
Mhm.
justice has set the time.
Okay,
So whatever,
okay,
however many 100 years it is or whatever,
okay.
that's justice.
I
And
think I'm
pity
getting it.
makes
I'm
short
getting.
the
I'm
sentence.
almost there. I think I'm getting it now.
Here's another translation of 37, 38. May
Hey,
justice and compassion soon relieve this weight from you, so you may move your wings.
yes. It's
Mhm.
just like the other day, John the Younger, when you had your birthday, if someone said to you, "May the next year be a wonderful year for you."
Okay.
It's just a blessing.
Okay, it
But
seems a very
it's
backhand way of putting it, that's all.
this leap from the between the two verses kind of seemed like a suggestion. If you help us,
Yeah, yeah.
then you will be pitying us, and justice will notice your kindness.
So it's really the souls who are talking here to Dante and Virgil.
No, no, no.
No, it's Virgil
No,
talking to
I'm
the
talking to
souls
them.
because Virgil wants to get some instructions. So Virgil, being a civilized fellow, knows that if you want a favor from somebody, you should say some sweet words to them.
Okay,
Or, you should schmooze with them just a bit
Sure.
before
Yeah.
you get down to business.
Yeah, I think that makes
So
sense.
37 through 39, he's just smoothing.
Yeah.
all right.
And then he gets down to business with line 40. Show us the way on which hand towards the stairs is shortest.
Okay,
That's where he gets down to business.
all right.
So he's greasing the wheels in 37 through
Yep.
39.
All right.
Right, the pity for poor Virgil, that for poor Dante, that's the third verse in this statement of Virgil's.
Yeah, because remember, these people, the souls, are straining under metaphorical boulders. So, so you may want to
Yeah,
say something nice to them before you ask them
yeah.
to ignore their burden and help you.
That's what seems odd too, I guess, is it? Yeah. Say, would you mind? Say, buddy, you with the big boulder, could you? Which way is it down to the corner over here? So,
Okay. So he wants to know the shortest way, and he wants to know the way that's the least dangerous because he's lugging this guy with a body around.
Which slows him down.
And makes it actually dangerous.
Yeah, abruptly falls.
what does he mean then when he says, "For he who cometh with me through the burden of Adam's flesh wherewith he is invested against his will is chary of his climbing"? I'm not sure I follow that either. So
He's
No,
got
the line here in Giardi is the last line of that verse. To climb ever higher is all his will.
Burden of Adam's flesh would be original sin.
that's true. Yeah, yeah,
I actually think in this case he's actually talking about the flesh, though.
yeah. Adam's
Because
flesh.
it's always important to remember that Dante does have a body.
Yep.
Unlike everybody there, all the other characters in the poem don't have bodies.
Yeah.
So,
It seems
so he
strange.
has a body, and when he gets close to a precipice, he gets a little nervous.
Well, this is Virgil is talking, I thought.
Yes.
There's
Yes, yeah.
Virgil talking. He's talking
He's
to.
talking
He's
about
talking.
Dante.
He's
He's
talking about
talking
Dante
about
having a
Dante
full
to the
body.
guy he's asking directions from.
Oh, okay. For he who cometh with me.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
he's referring
he
to
is
Dante.
Dante.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
The guy that's with me, he's got a body and he's
Yeah. Oh,
nervous.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense then. Okay. Thank
And
you.
you know what? The phrase here is, my companion who is burdened still with Adam's flesh. So it could be the weight of the body, and it also could be Adam's sinfulness,
Yeah. Well, sure. No,
Yeah, both.
I
Mm.
didn't get he was referring to Dante here. It was like, and I think to me it's like the scenario here was not entirely clear, but that makes it clear to me now. Thank you.
Okay. So we will start next time with line 46, unless someone wants to go back to an
Perfect.
earlier line.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Fruitful discussion. Very interesting.
Okay, I think so. Yeah.
It's
Although we
always
didn't-
amazing how endlessly
Wow.
interesting this is.
Wow. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much, folks.
Okay, this has been
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah, thanks. Duncan, just before you go,
Yes, sir.
I'll be late Friday because one of my granddaughters has got an activity at school I need to attend, but I hope to join in progress.
Okay.
And are you starting Mrs. Dalloway for sure Monday?
No, Monday's the first Monday.
Monday?
First
Okay,
Monday.
sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, and it
If you
has its.
join us, bring something to read.
Oh, okay. So you're not starting Mrs. Dalloway Monday?
No,
No,
because it's the
first
first one we
Monday.
do.
First
We
Monday.
do
Okay.
our own readings and
Okay,
poetry.
sounds good. I may pass on that, and I'll join you the following Monday then. Okay. Thanks for letting me
Okay.
know. Great. See you tomorrow. Yeah. Bye.
So
Bye.
Dee Dee, I guess you're the only one that does Thanksgiving. Oh no, John, the two Johns and Dee Dee. Have a good day.